testosterone. The one compound that started it all. If there's a single molecule responsible for the entire world of performance enhancement, this is it. Your body already makes it. Your testes produce it naturally, it drives muscle growth, keeps your energy up, and controls about 100 other things you probably take for granted. What bodybuilders figured out a long time ago is that if a little is good, a whole lot more does something completely different to your physique. When you pump in supraphysiological doses, meaning way more than your body would ever make on its own, things change fast. Muscle gets packed on, strength shoots up. Recovery that used to take days suddenly takes hours. It's sold under names like Sustanon, Enanthate, and Cypionate, and it comes in injectable form almost exclusively at serious doses. Bodybuilders typically run anywhere from 300 to 1,000 milligrams per week, depending on their experience level, stacked on top of whatever else they're running. Cycles usually last 8 to 12 weeks. Here's the thing though, your body isn't stupid. When you flood it with synthetic testosterone from the outside, it notices. It downregulates its own production. Your natural system goes quiet. That's why post-cycle therapy exists, to restart what got turned off. Without it, you're looking at crashed hormone levels, mood swings, and a body that forgot how to function on its own. Short-term side effects include acne, aggression, and a libido that goes through the roof. Long-term abuse is a different story. Cardiovascular strain, liver stress, hormonal chaos. Testosterone is the foundation of almost every steroid stack because everything else tends to work better when it's there. Anavar. This one has a reputation for being the safe steroid. That's not entirely wrong, but it's not entirely right either. Anavar, chemically known as oxandrolone, is what people reach for when they want to hold onto lean muscle while stripping away body fat. It doesn't blow you up with water weight. It doesn't make you look like you swallowed a balloon. What it does is keep your muscle while everything else comes off during a cut. Doses usually sit between 20 and 80 milligrams per day. Its androgenic rating is low, which is part of why women use it more than any other compound in this space. The effects are real but subtle. You look tighter, harder, more defined. The downside is price. Anavar is consistently one of the most expensive orals out there. And despite its gentler reputation, it still stresses the liver with prolonged use, still suppresses your natural testosterone production, and still warrants a proper post-cycle protocol after longer runs. Stack it with testosterone or Winstrol, and you're accelerating fat loss while holding your muscle. Don't confuse mild with harmless. Trenbolone? Nobody talks about Trenbolone casually. This compound sits in a different category entirely. It's the one experienced users bring out when they want rapid, dramatic change, and they're willing to deal with the consequences. It builds muscle and torches fat at the same time. That alone makes it sound perfect. The reality is messier. Known on the street as Tren, Parabolin, or Finaplix, it's run in injectable form as either Trenbolone acetate or enanthate. Doses range from 200 to 600 milligrams weekly over 8 to 12 week cycles. The results are undeniable. Muscle comes on fast, body fat drops, vascularity increases noticeably, but the side effect profile is brutal. Night sweats that soak through sheets, aggression that's hard to manage, sleep that becomes fragmented and shallow, blood pressure that climbs. And because it hammers your natural testosterone production harder than almost anything else, post-cycle therapy isn't optional. It's survival. This isn't a beginner compound. It's not even really a compound for most intermediate users. Trenbolone is what's sitting at the far end of the risk-reward spectrum, and the people who use it know exactly what they're signing up for. Anadrol. If Trenbolone is about rapid transformation, Anadrol is about one thing only: size. Raw, overwhelming size. Scientifically called oxymethylone, this is one of the most powerful oral steroids that exists, and it delivers results that are hard to argue with. Within the first few weeks of a cycle, users report serious strength jumps, noticeable muscle volume increases, and a recovery capacity that feels almost unfair. Typical doses run between 25 and 100 milligrams daily. Cycles are kept short, usually 4 to 6 weeks, because this compound hits the liver hard. That's not a warning to take lightly. Liver toxicity is a real and serious risk with extended Anadrol use. Water retention is significant. Bloating is part of the package. Aggression tends to climb. Post-cycle therapy is non-negotiable because Anadrol suppresses testosterone production considerably. It's often stacked with testosterone or decadurabolin to push mass-building results even further. In terms of legality, it's classified as a controlled substance in most countries. The gains are real. So are the consequences. Dianabol, the compound that basically built modern bodybuilding. Dianabol has been around since the 1950s when it was developed partly to give American athletes a competitive edge against Soviet competitors who were already using testosterone. It spread through gyms fast and never really left. Today, it's still one of the most commonly used orals in the game, also called D-bol or Danabol. It works by dramatically accelerating muscle protein synthesis and nitrogen retention in muscle tissue. What that means in practice is that you put on size quickly. Strength goes up within the first couple of weeks. The downside is how it gets there. Water weight comes along for the ride, which is why Dianabol users often look fuller and rounder, rather than dry and defined. Its half-life is only 3 to 5 hours, so it clears the system fast. But that also means liver exposure is concentrated in shorter windows. Long-term use stacks up real cardiovascular and liver risk. It suppresses natural testosterone production significantly, so PCT after a Dianabol cycle isn't something to skip. Cheaper than most injectables. Illegal in most countries for non-medical use, still one of the most popular mass-building tools in existence. Winstrol, cutting season's best friend. Where Dianabol packs on size and Anadrol overwhelms with mass, Winstrol goes in a completely different direction. This compound, technically called stanozolol, is built for the phase where you want to get leaner, harder, and more vascular without sacrificing the muscle you spent months building. Available in both oral and injectable form, it's typically dosed between 20 and 50 milligrams per day across 6 to 8 week cycles. The results show up in the mirror rather than on the scale. Muscle density improves, vascularity becomes more pronounced, the overall look gets harder and more competitive. Joint pain is one of the most common complaints. Winstrol doesn't hold water, which sounds good for aesthetics, but leaves joints dry and achy under heavy loads. Hair loss in those genetically predisposed is another common complaint. Liver stress is real with the oral version. Like everything else on this list, it suppresses testosterone, and PCT is recommended. Stack it with testosterone or trenbolone, and you're optimizing for a lean, defined physique. But treat it casually and the side effects will catch up with you. Deca-durabolin, the one compound that has a reputation for being almost therapeutic. Deca, known chemically as nandrolone, is popular not just for the muscle and size it delivers over time, but because it actually makes heavy training feel more sustainable. Joints that normally ache under big loads feel lubricated. Recovery between sessions improves. It's the steroid people stack when they want steady. Quality gains without the water bloat that comes with compounds like Anadrol or Dianabol. Injected at 200 to 600 milligrams weekly, with cycles stretching 10 to 12 weeks, its half-life of 6 to 12 days means you're not pinning every other day. Gains come on slower than with more aggressive compounds, but they're cleaner. The infamous side effect is what's known as Deca-Dic, severe suppression of natural testosterone that leads to erectile dysfunction during the cycle. Running testosterone alongside it is almost always recommended to counteract this. Post-cycle therapy is essential. Long-term use creates cardiovascular and liver risks, just like every other compound here. Clenbuterol. Last on this list, and it's worth clarifying, this one isn't actually a steroid. Clenbuterol is a stimulant drug originally developed as a bronchodilator for asthma treatment. What bodybuilders figured out is that it ramps up metabolic rate significantly through a process called thermogenesis. Your core body temperature climbs. You burn more calories doing nothing. Fat storage starts pulling, down faster than normal. That makes it a cutting phase staple. Dosed between 20 and 120 micrograms per day in gradually increasing cycles, the effects are real, but so is the discomfort. Hands shake. Heart rate elevates uncomfortably. Anxiety creeps in. Sleep quality tanks. The cardiovascular strain from misuse is not minor. Heart palpitations and long-term cardiac stress are documented risks. It's banned for non-medical use across most of the world. Post-cycle therapy isn't always required the same way it is for steroids, but managing the side effects properly is critical. That's the full picture. Every compound on this list does something real. Every single one comes with a cost. Before you ever consider going near any of this, get blood work done, understand what you're putting into your body, and know what the exit plan looks like. The results are real. So are the hospital visits. If you found this breakdown useful, subscribe. There's a lot more coming on performance, health, and what actually goes on inside the body. And if you want to see the natural side of all this, check out the latest video. The link is right there. See you in the next one.